Okay, I was looking through the lineup for this Sunday, sat down to prepare my music yesterday, and I heard we were working on a Christmas song, Hark, the Herald Angels Sing, and this is the first thing that I heard in the recording. I thought, well, that's an intro that's going to be right out front. First song in the set, first way the service starts. There better be something strong and assertive to really cover that part. And as I listened to it, I realized it wasn't a conventional finger-picking part. In fact, if you listen carefully, you'll hear it's two guitars. And on the left guitar, you've got one thing going on. And on the right, you've got a completely other part going on, but two guitar players playing relatively easy parts. But I'm the only acoustic guitar player in the band, and I thought, how am I going to cover that? Because as I was listening to it, I didn't think it was something that was just going to easily fall under one hand for one guitar player. So I started playing with it, and I wanted to show you a way that I came up with to play it. It's not precisely what that's on that recording, but it's a way that one guitar player can cover it, playing a nice, strong, assertive beginning to the song. Had to play around with it a little bit. Basically, I ended up needing to use two capos because there's a F pattern going there, and the rest of the fingering is up here. So the hand just isn't big enough to lay down that F down here on the first fret and still play the higher notes. So I knew right away I was dealing with the capo. But then I started trying to find where to play it up here, and I realized to make it reasonable to finger, I'm going to need some open strings up here, and I decided the way to do that was with two capos. I have no idea if that's how they did it on this recording, but I'm putting another capo over strings 5 through 1 at the 5th fret. So I'm leaving the 6th string capoed down here for an F, and I'm capoing the rest up here at the 5th fret, where I can play an F chord, but really fingering it like a C, and therefore I get the F here and the octave F there, and I can play. And that's kind of the ostinato that's going to go underneath this whole figure to make it sound nice and full. Now, this is not the easiest thing I've ever showed on a YouTube video. I play alternating bass style, finger style guitar quite a bit, so I'm really familiar with, you know, even though I'm familiar with that style, and that's essentially what this is, an alternating bass thing, I had a really hard time with this. So it puts the rhythmic notes in odd places in the measure that just aren't natural to that alternating bass style. So I want to say it's a little bit difficult. It took me, honestly, a couple of hours between trying to find out where to put it on the guitar, what kind of capo arrangement to use, and actually work this out. So don't feel bad if you find this a challenge. One thing about the capo here at the 5th fret, you know, normally when you put a capo on, you put it up pretty close to just behind the fret. In this case, I'm putting it back because I'm playing all this finger stuff out here, and I just found it was getting in the way of this finger. So I'm just making an exception to the usual rule and capoing it back a little bit. But here's how it goes. It's helpful to think of it as two different parts, and individually they're pretty easy. The lower part is simply this. Whoops, and not that. Sorry. Capo's failing me. Oh, my second capo's touching the string, so it's muting it. I'll let that happen. Okay, so open 6th string. Capo here makes an F. An open, or a 5th string fretted on the 8th fret, the 3rd fret above the capo. You get an octave F. So you're just doing this. And that's the whole part that the thumb plays. It never changes. The upper half, with your fingers on the right hand, you're playing this. trick is playing them at the same time. And the only way I was really able to do that was just to very slowly, kind of almost one beat at a time, practice that much. That's back to the beginning. And get the bass note alternating properly relative to the where you're playing the higher notes. And it just, because of the rhythm of the higher notes, it seems kind of unnatural. It doesn't fall the way you're accustomed to it. But so that's it. I know it sounds easy now, but it took me, honestly, a couple of hours going very slowly, a beat at a time, working out the first beat of the measure, then playing the second beat, putting the two together, going back and forth very, very slowly until I could work it all the way up. It's basically just a 2-bar pattern repeated twice at the beginning of the song. It's hard to play it slow. Slow it down even further, but it's really just you sitting there and working this out. Remember that the whole bass line is just that. This third finger never moves. You're basically in a C-shaped chord here and playing around with this. So starts here on the first string, down to the third string, get that much worked out, and then add one more beat. Then the fourth beat is the open third string. Little lick at the very end on the third beat of the second measure really throws off the timing, and it's amazing how hard it is to add that. But once you have this part, I would get this part up to time first. Once you've got that, then go back and add this little riff on beat 3 of the second bar. And it sounds like this. The whole hard part is just keeping this going the whole time. So it's really just learning the right hand muscle shapes of which pairs of strings you're grabbing at the same time to keep that going. And as I said at the beginning, it is kind of hard. I've been playing alternating bass styles for a long time, and it still was, I found it hard just because of the rhythm of the higher part. So I hope that helps you some if you're doing this Hark the Herald Angels Sing for Christmas. I hope you have a great Christmas and good services at your church, and good luck with that.